Tepu, assalamu alaikum, namaste, Haru Nefer. This is Qesankh Keperu with another exciting video for you. And in this video, we're going to be talking about why you do not remember your past lives. But before I go into that, I want you to hit the like button on this video. If this is your first time to my channel, welcome. Hit the subscribe button to get notifications on when I go live and when I upload recorded videos. And if you're interested in knowing more about my spiritual teachings, you can just click below, download one of the free ebooks, and start reading today. But if that's not enough for you and you want to go deeper down the rabbit hole, you can become a Patreon supporter for as little as $1, $5, or $20 per month. It's up to you. You can cancel it anytime. You'll get exclusive access to instructional videos, videos on the esoteric, videos on the spiritual that will teach you how to go deeper down the rabbit hole. You'll learn how to meditate, proper breathing exercises. You'll learn how to communicate with the ancestors, summon a spirit for your protection. You'll learn self-hypnosis and divination. Additionally, if you are in the SARE level supporter, all your oracle readings are free. So become a Patreon supporter today. Last but not least, share this video with family and friends so we can get this revolution started and change the vibrational frequency of this planet to one of more love and harmony. So, Haru Nefer, how are you all doing out there? So we have an interesting topic for today. We're going to go into something that's pretty interesting, pretty deep. And a lot of people have this question about, is there really such a thing as life after death? How come I don't remember my past life? Things of that nature. And I want to go a little bit into that because there's not a lot of information that really clarifies this. And our ancient Kemetic ancestors actually answered this question because they went into the Duat, the death of the underworld, and they were able to come up with a wealth of information. And this is because they used certain herbs like the lotus, DMT, ayahuasca, and a host of other things to put themselves in a near-death state to travel and traverse the underworld and gather information and come back. Our Indian brothers and sisters created or documented this in the Bhagavad Gita. So this is not something that is a mystery, but because we live in a left brain culture, a Western culture that doesn't celebrate the complementary elements in life, like male, female, day, night, life, death, they tend to put a lot of mysticism around death, and that's done for a purpose, and I will explain why exactly that's done for a purpose. You see, the first thing that you must know is that as long as you exist on this planet, this what we call this fourth dimensional plane, sometimes you'll hear me refer to as 3D, and I refer to it 3D in the extreme when people are caught up in materialism, then it becomes all about the material aspects, but it's really 4D, 3 dimensions of space, one of time, and we're caught up in 4D, and that serves the ruling elite. As long as we're in 4D, they are victorious. When you are allowed to stay in the inner planes and guide souls to the next level, you are what we call the Shepsu, an honored ancestors. So you do not serve the whims of the ruling elite. You become Oser, and that is what your goal is in your many lives, is to become Oser. And Neter, God, or what we also call Nebecher, Lord of all universe, God gives you an infinite number of lives to become Oser. There's no rush. God's not going to rush you. And the thing is, with each life, God needs to explore a theme. You see, Neter, which is neither he nor she, wants to explore itself, know itself better. You see, Neter has infinite knowledge, but has no experience. And the reason that Neter has no experience, because in the beginning there was only one. There was Neter. So there was nothing else for Neter to interact with. So to gain some type of experience, even though Neter had all this wisdom, it separated itself from the 1 to 2, and it looked back upon itself, and it was able to look at itself. And this is what we create. This is create what we call as the objective realm. When there was 1, there was just the subjective realm. When you split it into 2, that created the objective realm. So Neter was actually able to look back upon itself, see itself, and then have an objective perspective. The 1 became 2, the 2 became 3, that became the Holy Trinity. And then Neter further divided itself and created all things, individuality, which is just an illusion, because the real essence of who you are is Neter, and it's just oneness. Going back to your original state of when you created all things, you were just one. But to have the experience, you needed to create everything, the universe, planets, dogs, cats, fishies, insects, cells, panda bears, which I love, lions, tigers, and bears, everything. You needed to create all those things. So Neter could have this infinite experience, but they had to be ordered. They had to be ma'at. So, and there had to be a place for everything, which is sacred. So Neter said, I'm going to lay the foundation down, which is going to be ma'at, order. And in that order, there'll be a place for everything, and everything in its place. So Neter gave you infinite lives to have an experience, but it also gave you a destiny, which is sacred. And that destiny is a theme to explore with each life. And that theme helps Neter understand itself. So Neter created what we call an oversoul. That oversoul is above you, and it connects to you. There's an ethereal umbilical cord that connects to you. And every experience that you have, good or bad, that information is transmitted to the oversoul. And then oversoul transmits that information to the Akashic Records, where it's stored there, where it can help other people, other planets, other civilizations in the universe. Now, as I said, you have an infinite number of lives. There was no. You have to understand that there's no beginning for you. You were always. It's hard to imagine a realm where you've already existed. You had no beginning, and you will have no end. You just exist. This is what we call is the now moment. There is, in reality, no past, no future. There's just the now moment. Eckhart Tolle teaches about experiencing this now moment. And stop trying to project yourself in the future and the past. This is how the ruling elite captured the planet, because they understand the power of the now moment. But you're fooled into thinking the past exists and the future exists. So here you are as this one being, infinite knowledge, but no experience, and you separate yourself into 2 to look back upon yourself so that you may understand yourself better, and then you split yourself to an infinite variation of individualities. Infinite variations upon variations to infinity. And then you're given each soul a destiny, a theme to explore so that you may understand yourself better. But in order to have an authentic experience and to understand each different theme, you wipe your memory within each time you're reborn. You die, you reincarnate, and your memory is wiped so that that new life is a new experience, and therefore you're learning something new, and it's a rich, thick experience. But that's not the only reason why you can't remember your past life. I want you to understand that. And I want you to also understand it's not really technically a past life, because all your lives exist as one in what we call the singularity. You're experiencing all of your so-called past lives right now, and you can connect with any one of them and pull information. And sometimes, many times you do. But let's keep this in mind, that there is no past life. Those lives are transpiring right now. You're in the Civil War right now. You're in Egypt right now. You're in China right now. You're in India right now. Back in antiquity, you're in the ancient Atlantis right now. and you're experiencing all of these things at once. That's how powerful you are. You're experiencing everything at once. But here's the trick. Here's the trick. There's a difference between 4D and 5D. And this explains why you can't remember your past lives. You see, the realm of 4D, 3 dimensions of space, 1 of time, we must understand gives rise, an attribute of 4D is linear space-time. I'm going to say it again. Attribute of 4D is linear space-time, meaning things have to have a start, a beginning, a middle, and an end. That is the law of 4D. Everything you do has to have a start, a middle, and a completion. Beginning, middle, and end. Life. Living, death. Sunrise, midday, sunset. Beginning, middle, and end. That is a law of linear space-time. But you must understand that with each new life that you're reincarnated into, you are subject to linear space-time. That means you must have a beginning where you're learning, which is the Osset stage, indiscriminate imitation. Osset copies. She indiscriminately imitates at the very early stages of life. So you start out and you must learn. So your memory must be wiped so you can have that 4D experience. It is impossible for you to remember all of your lives in linear space-time, in 4D. You can't. You do not have the capacity to do that in 4D, linear space-time. However, when we graduate to 5D, which is our true essence and who we truly are, because in 5D there is no space and time. There is only the nothingness, nothing. You exist as consciousness. Within that realm, you are one with all. You are one with all. Therefore, you can recall as many past lives as you want. You experience everything simultaneously because that's how God experiences. God experiences not linear space-time. God experiences everything in a nanosecond, experiences even shorter than a nanosecond, a Planck, even shorter than the Planck second. Planck is a measure of time or space, because time and space is inseparable. All right, anyway. So we say Planck's, a Planck. Yeah. All right. So in 5D, you're experiencing everything at the same time in 5D. You're capable of doing that only in that realm, 5D. But that is the goal. Because when you become a seer, which takes many, many lives, then you get to that point where you go into the hall of Ma'ati and they weigh your heart against the feather, and your heart will weigh lighter than the feather. Then they'll ask you, do you want to return to earth and guide souls as a sage or a shaman or shawoman? Or you want to stay in the inner planes and maybe traverse the universe and guide alien people or star seeds, or do you want to do that, or guide people on earth and what they may perceive as a spirit or shepsu? You're given a choice. But as long as you are not working on understanding your theme, your destiny, and you're just going about absorbing things, conditionings, and you'll be an emotional being, an animal spirit materialistic and attached to things. And then when you do that and you go to the hall of Ma'ati and they weigh your heart against the feather will weigh, I'm sorry, your heart will weigh heavier than the feather, meaning you're heavy-hearted. And you will keep reincarnating and incarnating and incarnating. The rebirth process will keep happening and happening. And that all that does is to serve the ruling elite, because they need physical bodies here on earth to service them. They want to enslave the planet. And to do that, they indoctrinate you into materialism, hedonism, Satanism, slowly, drip, 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 drip. So that when you die, you will still have your emotions of being bitter, attached to material things, negative ideas about things, and your heart will be heavy. And then when you go to the hall of Ma'ati and they weigh your heart and it's heavy, then you are sent back to earth to do it again until you get it right, which is emptiness, which is being free from emotional compulsions, free from what we call as conditionings. A conditioning is an emotion that compels you to do something. Osir is free of emotions. Osir is not compelled by any emotion to do anything. Osir is at peace. God does not have an emotion. God is not jealous. God is not angry. What kind of God is that? God is at peace. God is nothingness, emptiness. Do you understand? Therefore, God can be impartial. Therefore, God can love you even though you curse God and you hate God for giving you this life. But God is still at peace and God still loves you. And God tries to tell you, make you understand, I know you may find it difficult that you are reincarnated and you're going through a lot of trauma in this life. But if you understand your trueness of who you are, my beloved, you are at peace, a peace that nothing can disturb. And if you only tune back into that within you, you can be at peace and not be swayed and upset by what goes on in the world. The Christians have it wrong, thinking, oh, I'll just go in this life and do good. No, 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 no. That's automatic. You should be doing good. You get no extra points for doing good. What God wants you to do is get to a level of peace in the face of the greatest obstructions. In the face of the greatest obstructions, can you be at peace? If a meteor comes down and wipes the planet of most of human life, can you be at peace with that? If an alien invasion has hit us and we're enslaved, can you be at peace? Why? Why can't you? Because you know you're an infinite being. You'll just be reborn again. And your next life, you may be a multimillionaire. So be at peace. This life is nothing. You'll have an infinite number of lives, an infinite number, until you become Osir. And then you can make the decision to stay up in the airplanes. But right now, you need to help the oversoul through experience. You must experience and remember, it's not real. It's all Maya. It's all an illusion. You make it real. Whatever you tell the matrix, it'll mirror it back to you. Given time and space. It doesn't appear instantaneously. You can't say, I want $500 and make it appear instantaneously. That's only in 5D. But in 4D, you have to give it time and space. Do you not understand that? So when you think about, why can't I remember my past lives? Well, you've had so many past lives. You didn't have just one past life. You've had thousands, and they're going on right now. So it's an impossibility within the realm of 4D to experience all that as it's transpiring right now, that violates the law of 4D, linear time space. But 5D, you can experience all that at once. In 5D, you will have infinite wisdom, infinite knowledge, and know all. But until you get to that level of where you're 5D, you're subject to 4D and 3D. Do you understand what I'm saying? And rest assured, there is. Hey, Tepu, in 5D, does time space fold into itself? Nope, that's an improper statement. 5D, there is no time, there is no space. Understand that, please. There is no time. Well, you get to 5D by becoming Oser. That is the goal with each new life. You spiritually grow to ascend to the level of Oser. And that's when you get to 5D. That is where our ancient Kemetic ancestors were trying to do. That's what they were trying to do when they built their civilization based on a spiritual doctrine. Everything was predicated upon becoming Oser. That was the highest goal. So when you go to the Hall of Ma'ati, you meet Tahuti. And Tahuti is the scribe. And he is the one that tells you the theme or destiny that you must explore in a new life. And you make a soul contract and agree to explore the theme or destiny, and then you're reincarnated and you must experience that. So just keep that in mind. Oh, Dante, that'd be a good class. We'll cover that in a future class, but I can't go into that right now because that's a lot. Okay, so we'll do that in a future class. But good question there. Great question. So keep in mind that everything that you experience in this life is being recorded by Tahuti the scribe. And it's being stored in the Akashic Records. And when you die and go to the Hall of Ma'ati, they'll read it back to you. They'll say, hey, you know that girl you married, and that one time in the Bahamas when you cheated on her and no one knew, but hey, God knows. So you cheated on her and thought you got away with it, but nah, not here in the Hall of Ma'ati. We record everything. Remember when you were 12 years old, you stole that piece of candy? Yeah, we got that recorded too. No big deal, but we still have that recorded. Remember that Thanksgiving when you ran into the closet and you farted and you made a really big stinky one? Oh, we got that recorded too. And then you were in the classroom and you let one go and you blamed it on Lisa. And we know it was you to let one go. You need to stop eating those beans. Okay? If y'all get an opportunity, please donate to the channel. Your donation would be appreciated. So you must understand the different realms and what powers you have in those different realms and what you're subjected to. But the most important thing I want you to take away from this is your true understanding of who you are. You are not the physical being. That is an illusion. It's not real. The only thing real that's going on right now is the experience. But the physical things that you see, they're illusions, they're Maya. And even quantum mechanics tells us that these things are really not physical. This book is not physical. It's not physical. It's vibrating. Its subatomic particles are vibrating. And it gives the illusion of physicality because as I touch it, the electromagnetic pulse pushes back. Therefore, it gives the feeling or sensation of being solid because that force is pushing back. But it's really vibrant. All the particles are vibrating. It's not solid. Everything is transpiring in here. The synaptic connections are making certain connections with each other, and they're firing off. And when it fires off in a certain pattern, it creates what you would say is a book, eyeglasses, you, avatar. But it's not real. It doesn't really exist. It's all in the mind. It's a holographic experience. It's a Star Trek holodeck. All it is there is for you to have an interaction, an experience with yourself. You're just interacting with yourself, no one else. And you're communicating with yourself through signs, omens, and symbols that you'll see all around you. And keep in mind, everybody's experience is unique. Everybody's experience is subjective. I just answered that question. If it's not real and an illusion, why do entities judge you and make you come back? Because the goal is to become a seer, and they have to keep a record of it, a record of your progress. With each lifetime, you are making progress. The judge, remember, Ma'at is not about punishment or reward. Ma'at is just merely about balance, balancing things out. She's not about punishing you. God does not punish you. God puts in place laws, Ma'at. And if you violate those laws, then you're subject to what happens, recourse. But God's not there punishing you. That's not how God thinks. God just says, listen, you did something wrong. We need to balance it out now. Like, for example, a criminal. He kills a young woman. God doesn't say, I'm angry at you. You killed a young woman. You killed my child. God says, no, well, you killed that young girl. So we have to balance it out. Next lifetime, you're going to get killed as a young boy or a young girl, so you know how it feels. And you will learn from that experience and grow to become a seer. You understand? But God's not doing it out of vengeance and hate. He's just doing it. So listen, we just got to balance things out. The young girl shouldn't have died. You shouldn't have killed her. So now it's going to be a reverse situation. You're going to die. You're going to die young. So you know how it feels. And don't get caught up in it because you have many lives. Don't worry about this lifetime if you're poor. God's saying, you're going to have a number of lifetimes when you're filthy rich. So don't get hung up on this one poor lifetime. You're crippled in this lifetime. God's going to like, please, you'll be healthy in the next lifetime. You'll win an Olympic medal. Seriously, I'm not joking. This is not hyperbole. Or I'm not being hyperbolic. I'm serious. God is a just God. So William, we don't subscribe to that. You see, Tahuti tells us nothing has a quality in and of itself. So there's no good and no bad karma. Remember, Ma's just balancing things out. Ma's not saying, oh, you're getting bad karma now, or you're getting good karma now. No. God just wants to experience everything. God wants to experience what it's like to be poor, what's to catch HIV. God wants to know the cancer. God wants to know what it's like to be a rich man. God wants to know what it's like to be a dictator. God wants to know what it's like to die at 2 years old. But God doesn't see these as good karma, bad karma. It's all an experience. Nothing, and I mean this, nothing has a quality in and of itself. It is only your perspective of being here in this fourth dimensional plane where you've been socially engineered and conditioned to think something is bad or something is good. This tea, to me, tastes good, green tea. Some people hate green tea. Intrinsically, does green tea have a quality about it? No, absolutely not. Exactly, Matt. We would attribute it more toward cause and effect, yes, but not good and bad, you know. If I study the stock market in this lifetime, and I study hard, 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 but I never make $1 million, when I come back in my next lifetime, I will have intuitively knowledge of the stock market, and I may be able to parlay that into $1 billion. Cause and effect. Previous life, I studied it intensely. My next life, I carry a little bit of that knowledge with me, and I become a stock market guru. And that's how our ancient ancestors in antiquity would ever build pyramids and build wonders in engineering, because they knew how to carry knowledge from one life to another and build upon that knowledge. Does that make sense? Like, if I'm a Mac Daddy pickup artist in this life, and the girls are like, woo, woo, going crazy over me, and I'm really good at my pickup lines, and I'm a master pimp, and I walk into the street and get hit by a car, in my next lifetime, there may be a lot of women who are attracted to me, and I may not even understand why. And I may have a natural affinity for verbal game, and I not know why, because I'm carrying that knowledge from the previous life. Just like I naturally was inclined to be a priest, didn't know why, but then I found out I was a priest in my previous life. So I'm carrying over and building upon the knowledge. Exactly. I should give you guys, I wish there was a way to give you guys stars, because that's a good answer. It's that's really good. That is exactly right. This is why it is so important. I was talking to a really great student the other day, and I said, I want to say something because I don't want you to think I'm fumbling over my words. Because when I talk, I'll sometimes seem like I may stutter, but that's on purpose. And the reason for that is because I'm very calculated in what I say, because I know that if I say things, I may bring that into manifestation. So I often edit what I say to be very precise. I stop myself from saying certain things. Like in our priesthood, you can't say like I, or you can say my person. Like, for example, my person likes chocolate cake, but my true self has no emotion toward it, because my true self is consciousness, God. It has no emotion toward that. But my person likes chocolate cake, or my person hates chocolate cake, because the person is the persona. But who you truly are consciousness, and the consciousness is free will, meaning you're free from emotional compulsions. You have no likes, you have no dislikes. You are a seer. So it is more accurate to say my person likes chocolate cake, or my person likes green tea, and my person, for example, doesn't like alcohol. So that's more accurate. Well, to recall your past life, you need meditation. You need to go to deep, deep meditation. Take you deep into trance, and it's going to surface. You're going to start remembering certain things from past life. You can just look at your behavior now and figure out a lot about your past life, because most times your behavior and the things that you like and you don't like in this lifetime are really carried over from the past life. I'm being real. Much as your behavior, like I loved insects. I still love insects. I love ugly insects. Come to find out, when in my past life, I collected insects. I love astronomy. Come in the past life, I was an astronomer. So it really, most rappers today were in the Heteru clan in ancient Egypt, the music clan. So they just, when you die and you're reincarnated, you typically seek out that which is familiar to you. This is why you don't reincarnate in an alien body in Alpha Centauri, because it's too foreign to you. So you reincarnate into something in Earth that's more familiar to you. This is why when you reincarnate, most of the people you're going to be with are souls who reincarnate with you, that you've experienced interactions with in the past life, because you're familiar with them. And they're familiar with you, so you reincarnate together in a group reincarnation. Absolutely. Hypnotherapy will take you into a deep state to re-experience your past life or one of your past lives. And you're always connecting to different past lives at different moments in your life. You may go through an issue today and connect with a past life that has a similar issue. And then tomorrow you'll connect to a different past life. It all changes. I want you to keep that in mind. So I want to thank you all for tuning in today for this broadcast. It was a very good broadcast. You guys asked some really, really good questions. So keep going. This is Qesankh my Keperu, son of my Aunt Tootie. My aunt is the beautiful goddess Heteru. Until my next video, Amun Ra.